Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Jersey, and today I have a special build. It's something that I've been thinking of, something that I was inspired, with all the baseball fields, everything that you see when you go to a stadium and you have like this front structure of like a garden piece, right? Like a flower garden, and there's rocks, it's elevated, sometimes there's fountains, and I wanted to create something like this, especially on this location. In front of the parking garage, many people have told me that this feels like a little baseball stadium entrance, side view, something like that. So I was like, you know what? That's actually very interesting. So what about if we make a little seating area? But I want it to be very different than anything that I've done before. And you guys know I made my own fountain, that big one that we did for the city build on GerseGames. And I'm so grateful that a lot of you have loved that fountain, have loved the concept of creating our own thing. So I kind of want to do the same thing. So the main thing is I'm using still kind of the same design layout, especially the big circle, because I want this to be kind of big, I wanted this to be also a big centerpiece. And this centerpiece, you can use it anywhere in your town, in any location. You can even use it in a roundabout, just anywhere that you need a big centerpiece. Okay, so I have the idea, I know kind of what I wanted, but I was kind of playing around. I wanted to see if I wanted to do it just with dirt and put like just wood on it. I wanted to see if the flower boxes were like one of the best choices. Also, I was kind of testing the stairs to see if I could make some type of frame. But the more I did it, the more the testing that I did, you know what, the stairs was not gonna do the vision that I wanted, especially after looking at so many pictures of baseball fields that have like these big centerpieces in front of their stadium. So I was like, okay, so that's not gonna work. And then I don't know, there was something about the dirt that wasn't like making me feel the way I needed to feel. So I went ahead and grabbed the flower boxes. These ones are tall. Is still gonna raise the level because the inside we're gonna raise the level of the dirt, right? So I kind of want this to feel a little bit different. So I went ahead, I took out all the dirt. We're framing everything now with the dark flower box, and I love this box. I mean, this flower box, using it tall or put it in the ground is like perfection. It's so good to use it in so many different ways, and I love the color. It's great, especially with greenery. It looks so good. Okay, so now we're gonna fill up the middle, right? Because we're gonna make a design. We're gonna make something different. I'm gonna try to branch out and keep creating something special, something unique, something different. I mean, this is something that it could already be done, but I've not seen it. So, and I'm very happy to, at least in my style, bring something unique. Lately, I've been using a lot of the hedges. I've been enjoying using hedges, not just for fencing, but now I'm trying to use the hedges for decorating, for decoration, to lay like something different. I don't know, like the way you see it in real life, right? There's all these hedges, and if someone's listening and they want to make the hedges in different shapes, like all the animals, kangaroos, circles, triangle, pillars, it'd be kind of great to have hedges in different shapes, because then we can be even more creative. But okay, so I put the hedges in this particular pattern because I'm gonna frame the hedges. I'm gonna frame a little bit of the outside. It's kind of dividing the sections, right? So we got these sections. I'm gonna put the flowers, and I was trying to be kind of like a little bit unique. I kind of spread the flowers a little bit and then let grass grow in between, but that idea kind of goes away and everything's gonna be filled up with flowers. So and don't worry about following this exact pattern of flower that I was doing. I was just trying to see, because I was seeing some pictures like kind of sometimes some flowers they die, they're not there. Sometimes just grass grew in these specific places, and I was trying to recreate something that felt a little more realistic, but it wasn't looking as pretty as I wanted. So that gets tweaked, but at the same time we start adding a lot of other stuff. Okay, so the next thing that I started thinking, okay, so I got the flowers on the outside. I was trying to make something clever, something design, but that's gonna go away. Then the hedges in this other circle pattern are gonna be dividing the area. And then I was okay, so I'm gonna put now a lot of these water bushes, and this one's gonna be the red one. And I was like, okay, so I want this But then I started realizing, okay, I kind of want maybe one more tier, right? I want to elevate this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out the middle section, you know, we're gonna take and we're gonna make a square, we're gonna take that out, and we're gonna raise this little section. So what's gonna happen when all this grows is gonna fill up the area, it's gonna feel very lush. And then in this square, and then right in the middle, we are gonna elevate it, and we're gonna put the one fountain, the small fountain that is just one square, so we can have just a little bit of water just splashing at the very top of this design. And I was very happy of the composition, very happy of how everything's starting to look. Of course, we went ahead and started putting grass because we want this to be very pretty, very green, because it's a big centerpiece, right? And we're trying to frame it, and here we go. So we slept throughout the days. We went ahead and see the progress. I wanted to see how everything's gonna look just filled up, and look how beautiful this looks. And you see the elevation between all of it. So at first I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and actually put the hedges completely. But you know what, I didn't like it. I just didn't like the feel of the hedges. Again, just I kind of have like that one hedge just there and leave it open. So right now we're just gonna leave it the way it is. I like the design, I like how everything's going. So okay, so the next thing is, all right, let's start framing the area, because you know, this is a centerpiece. We're gonna keep working on this area and keep evolving it, but for now we just want a nice little seating area that looks nice from the row, from the side of the building. We want to put some benching, we want to have some lighting, and that's the goal. Okay, so in these open spaces, instead of putting the hedges, I want to go and use the small lily pilly seed, and that's what we're gonna plant right here. It's gonna grow, it's gonna look really good, it's gonna bring a little more elegance in this particular area, and I think it really fits the vibe. And it's gonna hide a little bit of those openings, but at the same time, I didn't have to have edges that it kind of makes the little arch corner. I just wanted this design, you know. And yes, I'm being a little more picky like always, and then as you're watching this, my best recommendation is tweak it the best way you want it, that way it fits your design, your vision, your style, because that's always the most important part. Okay, so now we added the fountain is looking really good, we have it right there. So the next thing I knew is like, okay, it's gonna get dark, I want to add some light, you know, on this design. So we're taking some flowers in this particular corners, right in kind of going diagonal, and we're gonna put some of the garden lamps just right there, just to see how it feels when it gets dark, to see if we get enough illumination. And once again, we're gonna put some of the grass, put the grass back, so we can start truly getting this feel. Okay, so now I need to fill this area, right? Because all this dirt is not giving me the visual that I'm looking for, and I want to make sure that, you know, the vibe, what's supposed to be this area, the way it's supposed to feel, you know, because I want it to feel like, and I know this is a parking garage, but I wanted to have that feel like when you go to a stadium, a baseball park, maybe a football field, you know, those entryways, those little sections that they just got this beautiful gardens presentation, and you see the sign then of the building or something. It's just, I want that feeling, and that's what I was trying to recreate here. So the other idea that I had is like, okay, a lot of those are kind of like, you see the grass kind of sloping up into the design, and after seeing so many pictures, I was like, okay, how can I recreate this the best way as possible? I know the ramps can be a little tricky to use, so what I decided to use is just in specific places. I want the dirt like to feel like it's going up, but the ones in the very front, no, it's just on the inside, you know. So that's what we're doing. In the inside areas, we are putting ramps, so it makes the feel like it's going. The ones in the very front, we're gonna leave, and we're gonna see the whole flower box. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna start using the tropical bushes. Those are gonna be the best way to hide the corner, because they kind of grow on the floor. They can grow kind of big, kind of large, you know, very wide, and it's gonna try to hide those harsh corners. And it's gonna be a trial error, because at first I was trying to use like the lily pilly seed, because I thought maybe going a little elegant, but I noticed that I don't like the way when they grow up, it doesn't really hide it, because you have a little stump. So I was like, okay, I don't like that. So then I was like, okay, I kind of want to frame this and add some rocks, because a lot of these builds that I've seen in real life and in pictures right now, they have like rock formation as well. You know, not the type of rock we have in Dinkum, but you know, some decorating area. So I was thinking, oh, so let me see if I can create kind of like a rock edging scenario for this area to frame this. But as you see, I started to do it, but I was right away not liking it, very turned off. I was like, this is not the way I want this to feel. This is not the way that I want it to go. So I went ahead and I'm gonna take it off. You know, even though I'm really trying to come up with something here, it felt too cramped, too crowded, and it wasn't looking good. It's not the right rock, at least for me right now, and not for this particular build. It's not doing. But I do like one scenario that we're gonna use the rocks, and it's just gonna be in the corners. We're just gonna frame the corners with the rock one level, and I think that is gonna look really good. So in one side I planted the tropical bush, and the other one has the lily pilly seed. I wanted to see which one was gonna look best, and at the end I did choose the tropical seed. You know, and sometimes still going old school, let's call it old school Dinkum, using the old school plants, the old school bushes, is sometimes it's the right choice. You know, I know some of the new stuff is beautiful and amazing, and we don't think about the old stuff, but look at the difference. To me, the tropical bush did the trick of hiding more of those corners, so that's what we're gonna do, and that's what I decided. So we're gonna fix this area, we're gonna add the bush and all that. And I like this rock, just that little rock right there in little corners, just to add a little more to the build, just to give it a little bit more something. I did like that. So that's the only rock style formation that we're gonna do on this build. It's just gonna be in the corner, just to frame and to hide a little bit, and I think it does do the trick, and I do enjoy it. But now that we're forming everything, right, one of the other decisions that I need to make is like the sidewalk. Do I want it to be this big, this wide? Do I need more or not? Like, where's the seating areas gonna go? So, and that's a lot of stuff that goes through your mind as you're building this, right? So now we're filling all the gaps, because I wasn't liking how the grass, and I don't know why I thought like it could look cool. It's because I saw some pictures like that, like natural grass between flowers, but I like this. I like this better. Let's just fill it up all with flower. I think it's gonna look good, and then we're gonna frame it. We're finally gonna frame it all with the hibiscus, the red one, and I like this palette right here. And with the backdrop, it's just, again, all of this is working great, looking really good, and I like all of this. So the next thing that I noticed is like, I kind of wanted to elevate the light post, you know, the street lights, because I think instead of being flat in the ground, this will give it a little, again, a little extra detail to the build. And I was like, okay, this is looking good, everything's shaping up. So now we need to get the benches that we need. I kind of wanted the more traditional, the park benches. That's what we're using. I think they fit this area, and now it's really framing the build, right? We added all the benches, and now we kind of feel it, right? This is a nice little sitting area. I think if I have to really redesign this again, I think I would give more space, especially when I'm getting more closer to the parking garage. I just feel like I did it a little too tight. I know my vision is because this is going to continue going the other direction, and we're going to have like a little extra other builds, and I kind of wanted to frame this with the row, with the square, with the orchard. So I don't know, I may have to actually just go ahead and kind of maybe remake this build in the future, maybe give the space that I need, especially if I still feel like this, because that's always an advice that I give you guys, is if you really feel like, man, and I got plenty of space, it's not like I'm just got this little square, I think I may have to move it, and but it's gonna be identical. It just, let me have more space between this build and the parking garage building. But I will see it as I go back. But slowly it's shaping up, right? Like that view right there, it really is making this the build, the feel that I really want this area to be. And I was just so happy to see this, to feel it. And I was like, okay, I'm liking the color, I'm liking the color scheme, I really like the hibiscus, I really like the white flowers, I feel like everything going elevated, the water fountain in the middle, everything is really shaping up, especially when you look the backdrop and you see the building, the framework is really good. And that's something that I'm trying to now, you know, I'm always to have a visual point of view and height and be able to see. But now another thing that I'm trying to do a lot better is framing the build to complement the next build, you know. And I think that's my next step, that's my next direction in this journey in designing and making more build video, is framing the builds. You know, this is framing here and it's gonna complement this, and think about all the different directions in every build and how everything is gonna be framing. And I know I mentioned a lot of framing right there, but it's the concept, you know, it's the idea. Okay, so I went ahead and added more sidewalk. I felt like the sidewalk needed to be closer to the bench, and again, this is gonna be more aesthetic. That's if you really like that idea, you may want grass and then the bench, and you want more sidewalk on the opposite side. So it's all of this is subjective. You're gonna tweak it the best way it's gonna fit your style, your build. But at the end, I just feel like it really started making this area better. I think having the double sidewalk, it looked better. It just made the build feel better. So now I had the streetlights too close to the build, and you may like that. You may actually like it, but I kind of want it to be in the outside, in the corner, so when you're walking in, everything is just gonna feel better. You know, you don't have this obstructing your walkway. It's just on the outside of the walkway, and that's what I did. So now it's nighttime. I do feel like I need a little more light, so I started adding more garden lights, and I was like, okay, let's add garden lights, and coming down in the same sequence right down in the corners. We just keep coming down, and it started to look good, but I still feel like it's still a little dark, especially in the center of the build. It's not like I want something to be very like harsh lighting, you know, but I do want a little bit of light to hit the center piece of the build. And I was putting like extra street lights around to see if they would reach, but nothing was reaching. And then it was in the middle, and right now I didn't want that because it's just blocking the view. Like if I stand right there and I had a street light, it's blocking, and just for aesthetic reason, you know, just for me, it was blocking. So I had this idea. I did it in Dinkum talks. I kind of buried this the street lamp, and I bury it to a level that looks like the garden lamp, but it's the bigger version. And I thought that was gonna be a very cool little sequence, because you had the garden lamp in the bottom, and then in the higher tier, then you got the big one. And but at the level that we're burying it, with everything surrounding around it, it looks like just a bigger garden lamp, and I love that. And once we put all four corners, it really brought that little extra light, just a little bit extra that we needed, so the middle piece, it just doesn't look so dark. And that to me did the trick, and I was very happy. And again, we'll re-emphasize this, you know, do this the best way that you want. If you want more light, then if you put it higher, maybe use another type of lamp. Maybe you do tweak it a little bit more. Maybe you want something different in the middle. You know, it's gonna be your decision. Instead of a water fountain, you know, you can actually put a street light, you know, or a style of lamp that's gonna illuminate that. You know, you don't have to do the water fountain. You can do anything you want right in the middle if you want lighting. So and that's the great thing. You can do 4 fountains in 4 corners. Instead of for me putting like 4 lights, you can put 4 fountains and then put the light in the middle. So there's ways that this build, you can tweak it, you can add it, you can do exactly what you want that will complement your build, your area, the process that you are doing in your island. And I think that's always important. Don't forget, you know, these builds are always for inspiration, to give you an idea. If you don't know what to do, copy it identically. But at the same time, I always believe that as you're doing this and you're following along, you are gonna do your own tweaks, your own, you know, your own little details that will always make it your own. And I think that's one of the most exciting part about building and seeing your guys' builds and pictures, is the inspiration that you took, but what you do with that inspiration and how you tweak it. And I think that's exciting, and it's gonna always be so exciting, you know. But okay, so we're getting closer. So I went ahead and added a little bit of tree. I don't know how many trees I wanted to add. I knew I wanted just a little bit trees in the corners just for now, because I don't know how I'm gonna expand the build from going towards the different sides. So right now we're gonna keep it simple. We're just gonna concentrate on the build that we just did, that we worked on. But look at this. This looks great. I think it looks fantastic. I think it's just a great centerpiece for anywhere in your island. In front of a town hall, in front of a bank, in front of your park, in the very close to the bandstand, you know, like that entry point, and the bandstand is just a little more behind it. There's so many possibilities that you can use this build, and I hope that this build I gave you the inspiration that you needed, the motivation to continue to play, to continue to design in this awesome game that we call Dinkum. But guys, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit a like, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and we'll see you next time. Alright guys, see you later. Bye.